May I request Mr. Mukesh Kumar Singh, Member Executive SCBA, to kindly present a bouquet to Honorable Mr. Justice Uday Lalit, Chief Justice of India. May I request Mr. Kumar Gaurav, Member Executive SCBA, to kindly present a bouquet to Mr. K.K. Venugopal, Learning Attorney General for India. Honorable Mr. Justice Uday Lalit, Chief Justice of India, Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court, Mr. K.K. Venugopal, Learning Attorney General for India, Shri Vikas Singh, President SCBA, Shri Pradeep Kumar Rai, Vice President SCBA, Mr. Manoj Kumar Mishra, President SCORA, Senior Advocates, and my fellow colleagues at the bar, a very good evening to you all. Today, we have gathered here to felicitate Honorable Mr. Justice Uday Lalit, Chief Justice of India. There can't be a more proud moment for the whole SCBA that Justice Lalit has been appointed as the 49th Chief Justice of India as he was practicing in this court before his elevation as a Supreme Court judge. He is the second lawyer who was elevated directly as a Supreme Court judge from the Supreme Court Bar Association to become CJI after Justice S.M. Sikri in 1971, that is more than 50 years. He was enrolled as an advocate in 1983 and shifted his practice to Delhi in 1986 and worked with Mr. Soli Sorabji, former Attorney General of India, from 1986 to 92, and was designated as senior advocate by Supreme Court in 2004. He was one of the top senior counsels, and most of us sitting here in this auditorium would have briefed him, especially in criminal matters. A day before he was to take oath as Chief Justice of India, he called us for a meeting to discuss the problems of the bar, and we pointed out the problems which the members were facing in listing of matters. From the first working day, that is 29th of August 2022, the changes were visible, and around 900 matters were listed on the first day, and a circular was issued by the registry that all the fresh matters would be listed within 1 week of registration verification of matters, and the cause list to be issued timely as was the practice earlier. On regular days, that is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, regular matters are now being taken up before lunch, and miscellaneous matters post-lunch, and with this, regular hearing appeals which were not being heard for a long time are now being taken up for hearing. Constitution benches were set up, and once the issue is decided by the constitution benches, then a lot of matters would get disposed of in this court and other courts. As executive chairman of NALSA, also he took a lot of proactive steps, and a lot of cases were settled in Lok Adalats in the year 2021 and 22, and has been emphasizing on quality legal aid. Sir, there are still some demands of the bar, and as the members of the bar increasing in Supreme Court, there is lack of space, so we require a space for a bigger library, a bigger bar room, and a ladies' bar room in the Annexi building, which is just next to the court, sir. Also, cubicles to be built for lawyers in the 3 big halls in D block, additional building complex, sir, which can easily have around 100 to 150 cubicles, sir. There are still some entry issues in this building, sir, which needs to be sorted out, and the possession letters in the D block complex to be given to lawyers at the earliest, sir. With this, may I now request Mr. Pradeep Kumar Rai, our Vice President, to kindly give his welcome address.
Honorable Justice Uday Umesh Lalit, Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Honorable Mr. K.K. Venugopal, Attorney General for India, Mr. Rahul Kaushik, Secretary SCBA, our senior executive members, and Vikas Singh, President SCBA, and members of the bar. Honorable Justice Uday Umesh Lalit is 49th Chief Justice of India. He is going to see the half century in his last working day. Means 50th Chief Justice of India will be swearing in his tenure. Honorable Justice Lalit was a very popular senior advocate. He was full with smile, happiness, youthfulness. And we have seen Honorable Justice Lalit as member of the bar, and I think that each one of us have actually interacted with him at some moment of time. Honorable Justice Lalit was born in Solapur. His grandfather, who was practicing there as an advocate, who was a freedom fighter and had received Mahatma Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru there at Solapur. And thereafter, Honorable Justice Lalit's father, who was the additional judge in Nagpur bench of Maharashtra Bombay High Court. Justice Lalit came to Supreme Court after completion of his law in 1983 at Government Law College, Mumbai, and thereafter he became AOR in 2004 and then designated as senior advocate in 2004. 92 he was AOR. Justice Lalit has not spared any stone unturned as far as professional ethics are concerned. I remember a popular saying कि अपनी मंजिल पे पहुंचना भी, खड़े रहना भी कितना मुश्किल है, बड़े होकर बड़े रहना भी. We have to observe him closely. Justice Lalit was obviously, members of the bar know, and we all know that he is one of the most handsome personalities in the Supreme Court. And Madam Lalit always used to observe, though Justice Lalit says in Nagpur recently, he said that she is like Rock of Gibraltar, and she was standing behind him on each and every moment. He also said that when he was appointed as judge of Supreme Court, he did not consult his wife. Sir, we believe everything other than this. Madam is a teacher and principal, founder of the school. So none of the students can escape the route of the teacher. Lordship has appeared in several important matters, and I think that each and every important matter. He was the most sought after counsel. I have seen his character when Lordship shifted in Sector 44 Noida House. That day we all had gone, and we saw that he has kept the chair vacant for Mr. P.H. Parikh, with whom he started practice in Delhi. And he first offered the chair to him, who is our popular leader and 6-time president and 10-year president of ISKHORA. Thereafter, again I saw that there was a function at International Law Society. Lordship Justice Lalit was invited there. Mr. Krishnamurti is here, he was also there. And Lordship, when all the speakers mentioned about that what Lordship did, somebody said Soli Sorabji, somebody said Mr. Rane, where Lordship started his practice, Lordship rectified that. And he said that prior to my speech on BK Krishna Menon series, there is one amendment. And that amendment was that I started practice with Mr. P.H. Parikh in Supreme Court prior to joining Mr. Soli Sorabji. This is not an easy thing, Lordship. We all appreciate you for such a wonderful gesture given to. We all remember Lordship Justice Lalit when joined as a judge in Supreme Court of India. Thereafter, he has completely behaved as a judge. And when he became Chief Justice of India, expectations of this entire bar is on your shoulders, sir, on your shoulders. This bar expects too much. We all feel happy, we all feel proud when we see you, when we see one of our member as Chief Justice of India. This will be relevant at this moment that after Justice Sikri, Justice S.C. Roy, Kuldeep Singh, Justice Santosh Hegde, Justice Fali Nariman, Justice Lalit was the 6th one, and then Justice Nageshwar Rao, Indu Malhotra ji, and P.S. Narasimha sir. He is sitting here. He will be the next CJI from the bar, 3rd in line. We all welcome you, sir. Lordship is fond of traveling. He drives bike. Nowadays, I think that Lordship enjoys Q7 drive, but earlier he used to drive SD. He said, while getting the Q7, he said that it gives us speed and maneuvering and control. And some key traits of that top court judges too require to tackle with huge pendency of cases and laying down the law. Lordship, this bar also expects all those things. Even Manoj Mishra ji, who is President Tiscora, he is observing. He also feels that Lordship can do too many things because you have seen everything. You have been as a member, you have been here as AOR, you have been a senior advocate. And we all know that our bar is not just the bar of affluent people. Though India is a country where many centuries travel together, we can find someone on the road, on the bullock cart, somebody on rickshaw, somebody on Mercedes, and someone may be actually flying. But Lordship, this Supreme Court bar is also full of these people. When we decide, when we take a decision, it is prayed that we all have to consider the each and every lawyer and their background. And that's why we requested that the rent of the chambers, which was charged during the COVID time, and the chambers were unoccupied, that should be actually, yes, a bar scrapping can support my demand. Lordship has lovely wife, father is alive, he is 92 years old. He has 2 kids, Harshad and Shreyas. Shreyas is in the profession, though both of the sons, they studied engineering. But later they realized that one of them should join the father's profession. And Shreyas is doing so well with his wife Ravina. Ultimately, I will say a Sanskrit shloka, Yasya krityang na janantri, mantrang va mantritang pare, kritme vasya janasti savay pandita uchyate. It means that whatever you do, if you can keep it confidential, then you are Gyani. Then you are a learned man. So I will also not disclose everything, and at least for today, I will be resembling to this sloka. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pradeep sir. May I now request Mr. K.K. Venugopal, Learned Attorney General for India, to kindly give his address.
Honorable Chief Justice of India, Justice Lalit, the Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court of India, the Mr. Tushar Mehta, Solicitor General for India, Additional Solicitor General, C. Vikas Singh, President of and Office Bearers of the Supreme Court of India, then the Mr. Manoj Mishra and Office Bearers of the Advocates on Record Association, my friends at the bar, ladies and gentlemen. We are all happy that one among us is a member of the Supreme Court, who is a member of the Supreme Court bar, is holding the highest judicial office in the country. Only a few among us have had the privilege of being directly elevated to the bench of the Supreme Court of India. But what is unique about Chief Justice Lalit is that he is a second member from the Supreme Court bar who has attained the high office of the Chief Justice of India, the first being Justice S.M. Sikri. We are additionally happy that we are having a Chief Justice of India of unquestionable integrity, what is also special about the Chief Justice of India is the atmosphere of calm that prevails in his court. we do not find him raising his voice as counsel, whatever may be the provocation. If the last 2.5 weeks of Chief Justice Lalit's tenure has shown us anything, it is that he is committed to planting a seed of lasting change, and that his tenure augurs a great future for this institution. A newspaper yesterday reported that within just 19 days of Justice Lalit taking over as the Chief Justice of India, the Supreme Court disposed of over 5,000 matters. With the Chief Justice Lalit at the helm, there is a general sense amongst the members of the bar and the litigant public that the cases will get listed and heard. Walking down the corridors of the Supreme Court, one can hear advocates expressing how pleased they are that cases which had not seen the light of day for several years are finally being listed. His judgments on the criminal side have significantly reformed the administration of the death penalty, and he has sought to introduce a new aspect in deciding as to whether the death penalty has to be inflicted or not by providing for mitigating circumstances being disclosed to the courts at all stages, at the trial court stage, at the appellate stage, in the High Court, and also in the Supreme Court, which means that a lawyer or a counselor would go to the house of the accused who is facing a death sentence, would investigate, ask questions, find out whether there are mitigating circumstances, place it before the trial court. Again, the same exercise will be done when the matter goes to the High Court, and finally, when the matter is in the Supreme Court. And this shows that he is a person with a large heart. Despite the heavy workload and the pressure to achieve a high rate of disposal, Justice Lalit has been uncompromising on quality and has been consistent in extending an extremely patient hearing to each and every counsel before him, and making sure that one always leaves his court with the satisfaction of being heard fully. I could go on praising Justice Lalit with very many qualities that he has had, very many achievements, including as chairman of the NALSA and so on. But I am appearing before him in before a full bench, and constitution bench, and therefore I think I'll restrain myself and not say all the things that I would like to say about him. On behalf of the bar, I wish Chief Justice Lalit all the very best, and I am sure that his tenure will have a lasting impact on this great institution. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It is always a pleasure to have you physically with us. Sir was, after COVID, he had a lot of weakness, but he called me up yesterday saying that it's Justice Lalit's farewell, the felicitation function. So I will especially come for this function, though he was not well for so many days. Thank you, sir. With this, may I now request Mr. Vikas Singh, Senior Advocate and President SCBA, to kindly give his address.
My Lord Justice Uday Lalit, Chief Justice of India, my learned senior Shri K.K. Venugopal, learned Attorney General for India, honorable judges of this court present here today, Mr. Pradeep Rai, our Vice President Rahul Kaushik, our Secretary, Mr. Tushar Mehta, the Honorable Solicitor General of India, members of the SCBA, members of SCORA, and friends. This particular felicitation is very, very special for us, and that is not because Justice Lalit is the second Chief Justice from the bar. He is the first Chief Justice from the bar who was practicing in Supreme Court for a good number of years before becoming a judge and then the Chief Justice of India. Justice Sikri, S.M. Sikri, who was also a Chief Justice of India, retired in 1973, was appointed as a judge of this court when he was the Advocate General of Punjab. He may have come to this court to practice once in a while, but he was not a practitioner of this court. Justice Sikri was very much with us, and because of this special reason, he is probably the first Chief Justice in independent India who really knows firsthand the problems of our bar. Every other Chief Justice who's come here may have visited this court once in a while, probably to argue some matters or sometimes to brief somebody, but really never practiced in this court. We've had the fortune of having some of our lawyers, practicing lawyers, being elevated to this court, but unfortunately they couldn't make it to the Chief Justice of India. And 2-3 names that come to my mind immediately is, of course, Justice Rohinton Nariman, Justice Nageshwar Rao, Justice Khanwilkar. They were all regular practitioners of this court, got elevated, but couldn't reach the CJI position. It is because, sir, you are from our bar, substantially practiced here. You practiced in Bombay only for a year or so, and you came to answer, you shifted here to Delhi, and then thereafter continuously practiced here till elevation. That we are very hopeful that even in a short tenure, we will achieve what we have never achieved as a bar association. Sir, I will like to state our demands, because that is something which I can do today. Obviously, there'll be a report card, which of course we will all see when you demit office in some time from now. But today, because of this very special reason of you being from our bar and knowing our problems, there are some very, very pressing issues of the bar which I thought I must point out, sir, and on this occasion to remind you, sir, of our. Sir, as far as listing is concerned, the Honorable Chief Attorney General has also very correctly mentioned, even our Secretary mentioned, that listing has really improved. It is a backlog of the last, I would say, 2.5 years, which are all now getting listed. The bar is extremely happy. The litigants are extremely happy. This institution is meant for the litigants primarily. If the matters don't get listed, it is very frustrating. So the matters getting listed is a really, really something which is, we will all salute you, sir. And we will really appreciate this gesture of yours of taking this step immediately upon joining. Only one, sir, issue on that there are still some last-minute surprises happening of matters getting listed a couple of hours before, for which lawyers are not prepared. But I'm sure these are teething issues which will get sorted out as day progresses. Sir, since you have been from this bar, you know the standard of this bar, you know the level of lawyers practicing here. And elevation of our lawyers to the high courts has been a very big issue. I've been taking this up from my first tenure in 2018. And I beseech, sir, you that since you know that there are, in fact, I see so many times some very good lawyers, young lawyers arguing. Sometimes I don't even know their names. And I feel that they could be an asset to the institution by becoming judges. But unfortunately, because practicing here is a disadvantage for them, and they are not being considered, sir, I'm sure if you can at least pass a resolution of the collegium that the High Court collegium should consider members of the Supreme Court bar, I think that will go a long way in ensuring that our members get considered for elevation. Sir, the last bar library that we got was in the year 1991, which is 31 years back. And since then, our membership has gone probably triple of what we had. We had about 4,000-5,000 then. We have about 20,000 now, 4 times maybe we've become. And we've not had any. The ladies' library, if you, sir, I'm sure I'll take you someday to the ladies' library. There is no place to sometimes sit for the ladies also. In fact, I remember when Justice Nageshwar Rao retired, he made an impromptu visit to the ladies' library because we just took him around in the bar. And there was a lunch going on, if I remember correctly. Garima Prasad had organized a lunch for her seniorship. And there was no place to stand also in the library. So the ladies' library also, we require another ladies' bar room. We require a lunch room, sir. I will again take you, sir, to our lunch room and see what kind of a lunch room we have. We can't, a person with a little bit of volume can't even get to his chair. That is the area that we have for our lunch room, sir. So these are some very, very pressing demands. And because you are from us, because you are the only one who's practiced with us, because you know all of us, because you've been in this bar for so many years, sir, I'm sure you will be able to take care of these issues, even in this short tenure. And we are very hopeful, sir. There are infrastructure issues of the bar also, unfortunately, not being taken up. Gate E is not opening, because of which there is a huge parking. Anybody going and coming out takes 10 to 15 minutes just getting in, because this one gate is not opening. And I don't know why everything is there ready, but it is somehow not being. Accessibility to this place is a very major issue. Lawyers are humiliated. Even our EC members are humiliated because of this security issue. And I'm told, sir, you have already constituted a security committee and things will get sorted out. So these are, sir, please pardon me for my continuous demands, but I'm quite sure, sir, being from our bar, all of them will be met in your tenure. Then, sir, we have had a very big issue of having a welfare stamp for our, as a wakalatnama in every wakalatnama, which has been taken up earlier also many times. And that will be a huge relief to the members of our bar. Because of this, there is no social security for them. We are dependent, our lawyers are dependent on briefing from outside lawyers. And in this pandemic, because you were to be briefed by lawyers, and since lawyers were not briefing, sir, people went through a very bad time. We could collect a lot of money and distribute amongst our members, but that can't be done on a regular basis, sir. Welfare stamp will go a long way for ensuring that our lawyers in bad times or in distress or in emergencies are taken care of. Sir, medical facilities for lawyers also has to be taken. You have also mentioned, sir, in our meeting that there should be a state-of-the-art ambulance all the time available in the Supreme Court, and I'm sure, sir, that also can happen. Sir, one issue which members of the bar have been facing recently is about one password not being given to the members of the bar. That is something which has always been the practice of this court, that one password is almost a matter of right. Senior designation, sir, there is a judgment of this court. It should be done every 6 months. And unfortunately, it has not happened for a very long time, and that needs to be. So when Justice Ramanda retired, he used a word for me. Although he was very complimenting by saying he's dynamic, but he also said he's a little stubborn. Sir, I would like to say on what issue I'm stubborn, sir, because you would not be aware of what is that stubbornness that he was talking about. There are some chambers allotted to the Bar Council of India. The rules do not permit, the rules earlier, the Chief Justice had a discretion to allot somebody. Now the rules do not permit, it has to go through the Chamber Allotment Committee. And when Justice Ramanda said that now that I have done it, you may allow, I said, I can leave my chamber, my personal chamber, but I can't leave what is meant for the bar. So I am stubborn, sir, for that, because 6 people can be accommodated, and if Bar Council who don't have any role to perform in, there is no statutory role for them to perform in this court. There is no reason why they should be here. They have a building just half a kilometer from here, full-fledged building. So for them to take any chamber here is something which is completely not acceptable, sir. Sir, there is a impression which a lot of bar associations in the country try to impress upon me, that your bar is a very weak bar. I always tell them that we are a model bar and we are a responsible bar. We, sir, in the 71 years of our existence have never gone on strike, whatever may be our demand, because we feel that we can't punish our client for our needs, for our demands, for our what we need to do. We have a system where we can come to you, sir. We have a channel open always, and we can always. And of course, if there is something to be done, some protest to be done, strike is definitely not an option, and we have never done it, and we will never do it, sir. And that is not a sign of weakness of the bar. That is a sign of the strength of the bar, that we respect the work for which this institution is created, and we want that work should not suffer for our demands. Sir, recently today I saw in the newspaper, I was a little disturbed, of front page newspaper saying that there is a rift amongst judges. I was present in court, sir. I know judges can't react to what comes in the papers. I was present in court, sir, when that happened. And it was not that the judges are in any manner sort of unhappy with the system. Everybody is happy that things are getting disposed of. It was only that it was mentioned that this new system will take some time to settle down. So for that, an adjournment was given. It was not given as if the judges, anybody is upset with the new system, because every judge, I'm sure, when he takes oath, would want disposal to happen. So there is no way anybody would be unhappy with that. So, sir, with all these demands, sir, I would like to once again wish you a very successful and a very fulfilling tenure, sir. And I will also join hands with the Bar Council of India that the retirement age should increase. And if it is possible to increase within your tenure, sir, we will be the happiest bar, because we would want that you are being from us, you are able to give us the maximum, look after us, nurture us, our demands, and ensure that we grow as a very, very important national bar. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vikas sir, for pointing out all the demands of the bar. May I now request everyone to just give us standing ovation to for what we are waiting for to hear Justice Lalit. He's someone from our own bar. It's a special moment for whole SCBA, sir. With this, may I now request Honorable Mr. Justice Uday Lalit, Chief Justice of India, to kindly give his address.
All my brother and sister judges of the Supreme Court, Mr. K.K. Venugopal, Learned Attorney General for India, Mr. Vikas Singh, President, Supreme Court Bar Association, Mr. Pradeep Rai, Vice President, Supreme Court Bar Association, Secretary and Office Bearers of the Supreme Court Bar Association, Learned Solicitor General of India, Mr. Tushar Mehta, all the officials, office bearers of Supreme Court Advocates on Record Association, my former colleagues at the bar, whether senior advocates, juniors, all of you. I see so many familiar faces, some who were my chamber juniors, some who worked with me, some who argued against me, who walked with me every time. So it's a gathering which is like, makes one nostalgic. There are some people that I shared table with at lunchtime, or maybe for the purposes of coffee in the canteen. So it's to all of you. Where do I begin? I came here way back in '85, but before that, my first brush with Supreme Court was in 1979-80, when In Re Special Courts Act was being argued in this court. That time I was a student, and because that was my first case which I followed. I sat there all through, headed by Justice Chandrachud, Y.V. Chandrachud, the then Chief Justice, Justice Bhagwati, Justice Krishna Iyer, such stalwarts. So that was a great experience, great learning experience. Then again, I had the great fortune, though I was practicing in Mumbai from '83 onwards, I came here during vacation to mention a matter. In those days, the mentioning used to be before the then Chief Justice. So Chief Justice Chandrachud was the judge. So my first appearance in this court was again before Justice Chandrachud. And that's when it started. I have been through almost every role that an advocate can be in Supreme Court. I came here purely as a student first, then as an outstation counsel, then as a junior who was unattached to anyone, then joined Advocates on Record office, then joined a senior's office, then practiced like non-advocate on record, non-senior category, then became an advocate on record, then suspended my practice as advocate on record for a while in the hope that I may get designated, and finally designated. So therefore, I have been through everything which possibly any advocate in Supreme Court could have gone through or can go through, except one. I was never a law officer. And at times people say that, very well, you have a distinct way of arguing. I must tell you the secret. The man behind that is none other than Mr. K.K. Venugopal. You should see Mr. Venugopal argue a matter, the way he places the matter, absolutely calm. There are no sort of emotions at any juncture. Just places the matter, facts, law, with same amount of ease, comfort, putting the court in complete sort of comfortable zone. With the permission of Mr. Venugopal, if I may share one incident. When I joined Parekh & Company, there was a huge shipping matter. And we had briefed a senior counsel. So in the conference, on some point, the senior was not happy with the preparation and the kind of pleadings which were placed on record. So he just flared up, started blasting all of us, including the clients, for the way they had conducted themselves. And he went to the extent of saying that the proper place for you is actually in a jail. When the conference was over, we were told that, sir, we want somebody else. Very well, with a lot of reluctance, lot of sort of, trying to persuade the clients not to indulge in that, but they were insisting. So we went to Mr. K.K. Venugopal. All of it, which had enraged that earlier counsel, was narrated to Mr. Venugopal. And the expression was, and I don't forget that because that is something which has ingrained in my mind, all that Mr. Venugopal said was, "Ayayyo." That's the cool temperament which I saw, and he has always been a role model. Very well, lot many things have been said about everything, including listing and other things. Let me clarify. It is true that we have taken this new style of, new way of listing. There are naturally bound to be some teething problems. Whatever has been reported is not the correct state of affairs. We all judges are completely on same page. In fact, as a matter of fact, what Mr. Venugopal told us, that till yesterday, that is till about, say, 29th we began, till yesterday, we could dispose of more than 5,000 matters, 5,200 to be precise, as against as against filing, which was just about 1135. So fresh filing is 1135, the disposal is 5200. So that is all possible because of the efforts put in by my brother and sister judges and all of you, the members of the bar. It is true that as a result of this changeover, there have been certain occasions, certain instances where perhaps the matters got listed at the 11th hour with the shortest possible notice. That created tremendous amount of workload, additional workload for the judges, for the advocates. And I am really indebted to all my brothers, sister judges for discharging everything with a smiling face. And that's the reason why we have been able to dispose of something like 5,200 matters as against 1135 filing, which means that we have been able to reduce the arrears by at least about, say, 4,000 number, which is a good beginning. Of course, these are all matters which are matters of moment. Why? Because many matters were pending. They had become more or less infructuous, so therefore they had to be disposed of, so we got them listed, and the results are before you. The second part, and I must respond to what Pradeep Rai says. I don't know where he gets all these information from. Let me share one thing. It had always been my dream that, one day, if I can be judge of this court. Nothing like that. My wife was always aware of that. She knew everything that was at the back of mind. So there was no necessity, no need to consult her when the actual call came. And that's the reason why I said in one of the speeches that when Justice Lodha offered me, I did not even consult my wife. It was in that background. It is not as if no husband can ever do such thing, without consulting the wife. Now we come to the third part, which is the demands. The demands are ever growing. The demands are naturally because that's the vibrant way in which the bar, it's a dynamic concept every time. Whatever library that I saw way back in 70s, 80s, that library can't be sufficient for today's needs, today's demands. Number has increased. So therefore, it is true that these concepts will certainly require more and more space. I can't promise anything. The only promise I can give is, very well, I'll appoint committees. So let the committees go into that. Committees will decide, and then thereafter the decisions will be taken. So all in all, it's a great privilege to be here standing before you. I consider myself to be lucky that I was member of this bar association. This profession, this bar association has taught me everything. The conduct of matters, the way seniors used to argue, I would run from court to court, just watch the seniors, how they functioned, how they argued. It has always been a great experience, great learning experience. And that has been given to me on a platter by the Supreme Court Bar Association and the institution which is Supreme Court. It's a privilege to be a lawyer. This legal profession has given me everything. Whatever I am today is only because of this legal profession. I can't consider myself to be anything other than this profession and what it means to me. So being a member was a matter of privilege to me, and it's the same privilege with which I stand here today before you. maybe in 2 months' time, when I demit office, that will be the final icing on the cake. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor for whole SCBA that you are now the Chief Justice of India, sir. We are thankful to you that you are going to consider our demands and appoint a committee, and we are very hopeful that soon solutions going to be found on all of that. With this, may I now request Mr. Vikas Singh, President SCBA, and Mr. Pradeep Kumar Rai, Vice President SCBA, to kindly present a memento to Honorable Mr. Justice Uday Umesh Lalit, Chief Justice of India. May I now request Mr. Rohit Pandey, Joint Secretary, SCBA, to kindly give vote of thanks.
Thank you, Rahul. We are grateful to Honorable Mr. Justice U. Lalit, Honorable the Chief Justice of India, for accepting our invitation for the felicitation function. Supreme Court Bar is happy with you, sir. We are fortunate to have you as the Honorable Chief Justice of India. And, sir, we are confident that the Supreme Court Bar will be benefited in your tenure. We thank Honorable Judges of Supreme Court of India, Honorable Retired Judges of Supreme Court of India for gracing the occasion. We thank Mr. K.K. Venugopal, Attorney General for India, Mr. Tushar Mehta, learned Solicitor General of India, learned law officers, senior members, and members of the bar, Mr. Manoj Misra, President Skora, Mr. Devbrat, Secretary Skora, Mr. Senasis Mukherjee, Vice President Skora, Mr. V.K. Bansal, learned Secretary General, Mr. Rajesh Goyal, and other registrars of the Supreme Court, press, journalists, print, electronic media, office bearers, and members of the Executive Committee of different bar associations, and other distinguished guests and respected members of the bar for gracing the occasion. Kindly join us for high tea at the ground floor.
May I now request the EC members to kindly come for a group photograph on the stage? कोई बात नहीं